Ever wondered about the complexities of the human mind and how they can manifest in unique ways? The human mind is a labyrinth, and sometimes its intricacies lead to the development of rare and unusual psychological disorders. These disorders, while not as commonly diagnosed as depression or anxiety, are no less significant in their impact on individuals' lives. Today, we'll delve into 7 such disorders that you may not have heard of. Altrophagia or Pica, Folie à Trois, alien hand syndrome, Trichophagy, Autocannibalism or Autosarcophagy, Boanthropy and Aboulomania. Each of these disorders presents a unique perspective on the myriad ways mental health can be affected. By understanding these lesser-known disorders, we can not only broaden our knowledge about the complexities of the human mind, but also foster empathy for those who live with these conditions. So are you ready for a deep dive into the human psyche? Dive in with us as we explore these rare psychological disorders. Imagine having a craving not for food, but for non-edible substances like dirt or paint. This is the reality for those suffering from a lesser-known eating disorder known as Altrophagia or Pica. This psychological alteration triggers an uncontrollable desire to consume non-nutritive substances. The cause isn't fully understood, but it's thought to be linked to nutritional deficiencies, such as low iron levels. Altrophagia can affect anyone, regardless of age. While it's common for young children to explore the world around them by putting non-food items in their mouths, it becomes a concern when this behavior persists into older childhood or adulthood. Diagnosis usually involves a medical examination to rule out physical illnesses, followed by a psychological evaluation. Case studies of Altrophagia reveal the diverse range of substances consumed, from clay and chalk to paper and ice. The risks associated with this disorder can be severe, including lead poisoning, intestinal blockages, and even parasitic infections. This rare disorder shows us the unimaginable ways our brains can influence our behaviors. What happens when 3 individuals share a psychotic break? Now that's an intriguing question, isn't it? Welcome to the world of Folie à Trois, a rare, fascinating, and somewhat disconcerting mental disorder. Folie à Trois, for those who are hearing this term for the first time, is a form of shared psychotic disorder. If you're familiar with Folie à Deux, where 2 individuals share the same delusion, then imagine that but amplified by another person. Yes, in Folie à Trois, 3 individuals share the same delusion, making it even rarer and more complex than its predecessor. To truly grasp the perplexity of this disorder, let's delve into a well-known case involving 3 American sisters. These sisters, deeply religious and closely bonded, lived in close proximity, 2 of them in the same home, and the third as their neighbor. As they began to spend more time together, their bond grew stronger, and with it, the seeds of a shared delusion were sown. One of the sisters, the youngest, began to question the varying interpretations of the Bible. An innocent enough query, you might think. But in the minds of these 3 sisters, this question took root and grew into a shared psychosis, a delusion that consumed and connected all 3 of them in a way few can understand. This disorder arose quite suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere. One moment they were 3 sisters caught up in the routine of their daily lives, and the next they were locked in a shared delusion, a united front against a world they perceived differently. But here's the kicker. This isn't just about shared delusion. It's about how these shared delusions can shape and change relationships, warp reality, and challenge our understanding of mental health. As we delve deeper into the complex world of mental health, we discover disorders like Folie à Trois, and we're forced to question and redefine our understanding of the mind. This unusual disorder challenges our understanding of shared psychosis. But isn't that the beauty of psychology? Just when you think you've got it all figured out, it throws a curveball your way and leaves you questioning everything you thought you knew. Think of a hand that has a mind of its own. You're visualizing alien hand syndrome, a rare neurological disorder that can make a person's hand seem to have a will all its own. The person with this syndrome can feel as if their hand is not a part of their body, almost as if it's been possessed by an alien force. The hand might reach for objects, button and unbutton clothes, or even interfere with the other hand's tasks, all without the person's conscious control. Imagine trying to pick up a cup of coffee, only to have your own hand swat it away. That's the kind of unpredictable behavior that can occur with alien hand syndrome. This disorder is often a result of brain surgeries, where the two hemispheres of the brain have been separated, typically to treat conditions like severe epilepsy. It's a fascinating yet eerie condition, providing a stark illustration of the complexities within our own brains. A truly alien experience, isn't it? How about an irresistible desire to eat one's own hair? A peculiar question, no doubt, but it brings us to our next rare psychological disorder, Trichophagy, or Rapunzel syndrome. This condition is characterized by an individual having an unyielding craving to consume their own hair, often leading to serious complications such as intestinal blockage. It's a baffling concept for many, and yet it's a reality for those who suffer from this rare disorder. But that's not the end of the story. Trichophagy often turns up hand in hand with another condition known as trichophyllomania, which is the compulsive urge to pull out one's own hair. The two disorders together form a distressing cycle of hair pulling and hair eating that can have significant physical and psychological impact on the affected individual. A rare disorder indeed, shedding light on the diverse ways our minds can influence our behaviours. Ever heard of a disorder where one consumes their own skin or blood? Well, you're about to. Autocannibalism, or Autosarcophagy as it's also known, is a rare and certainly disquieting mental disorder. This condition is marked by individuals engaging in the act of eating their own skin or consuming their own blood. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? The symptoms of this disorder are as diverse as they are disturbing. Individuals with autocannibalism are driven by compulsive behaviours such as biting their fingertips and lips, or any other part of the body they can reach. Some even go as far as sticking their fingers in their eyes or throwing their bodies against a wall. It's a startling display of self-harm and self-consumption. Now, let's delve a little deeper into a specific case that involves autocannibalism, the Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. This is a genetic disorder that borders on the extreme end of autosarcophagy. People suffering from this syndrome not only harm themselves, but also consume their own body parts. It's a grim reality that these individuals live with every day. Lesch-Nyhan syndrome is characterized by neurological and behavioral abnormalities. Neurological issues include involuntary muscle movements and impaired motor function, while the behavioral abnormalities are marked by self-mutilation and autocannibalism. The condition is extremely rare and usually affects males more than females. The exact cause of autocannibalism or autosarcophagy is not entirely understood yet. There's a lot that remains unknown about this disorder, making it a challenging subject for medical and psychological research. Treatment for autocannibalism often involves a combination of medication and therapy to manage the compulsive symptoms. Cognitive behavioral therapy in particular is used to help individuals develop coping mechanisms and strategies to resist their compulsions. A shocking disorder, it reminds us that mental health is a field that requires continuous research and understanding. The mysteries of the mind are vast and often strange, but every discovery brings us one step closer to understanding the complexities of our own human nature. What if you believed you were a cow? Or what if making decisions was a debilitating task? Welcome to the fascinating world of Boanthropy and Aboulomania, two rare psychological disorders that offer intriguing insights into the human mind. Let's start with Boanthropy. It's a type of delusional disorder where an individual believes they're a cow or an ox. This is not simply a case of pretending or role-playing. No, these individuals genuinely believe they've transformed into these animals, adopting their behaviours and mannerisms. They might graze on grass, walk on all fours, or even attempt to moo like a cow. It's a striking example of how our minds can distort our self-perception. Now, imagine if every decision you had to make, no matter how small, was an insurmountable task. This is the reality for those with aboulomania. Aboulomania is a disorder characterized by pathological indecisiveness. Those affected can spend hours, days, or even weeks agonizing over simple decisions like what to wear or what to eat. It's not mere procrastination or indecision, but a crippling inability to make choices. This disorder can severely affect a person's daily life, making routine tasks a major source of anxiety. So, what causes these disorders? The truth is, like many mental health conditions, the exact causes are unknown. They may be triggered by a combination of genetic, biological, and environmental factors. The rarity of these disorders, however, makes them difficult to study and understand fully. To manage these conditions, a combination of therapy and medication can be used. Cognitive behavioral therapy can help individuals challenge their delusions or indecisiveness, while certain medications can help manage any underlying conditions like anxiety or depression. These disorders, Boanthropy and Aboulomania, highlight the limitless ways our minds can influence our perceptions and behaviors. They remind us that the human mind is a complex, mysterious entity, capable of creating realities that diverge from the norm. So the next time you're faced with a difficult decision, or you see a cow grazing in a field, remember, our minds are a vast and uncharted territory, filled with endless possibilities. These disorders emphasize the limitless ways our minds can influence our perceptions and behaviors. As we've seen, the realm of mental disorders is vast and complex. We've delved into some of the rarest conditions, from Altrophagia or Pica, an uncontrollable desire to consume non-nutritive substances, to the shared delusion of Folie à Trois. We've also explored the curious alien hand syndrome, where one's hand seems to have a mind of its own. We've seen the peculiarities of trichophagy, the compulsion to eat one's own hair, and the extreme self-harm present in autocannibalism or autosarcophagy. Finally, we discussed boanthropy, the belief of being a cow, and aboulomania, the crippling indecision disorder. All these disorders, while rare, highlight the importance of continued research and understanding in the field of mental health. Each condition provides a unique insight into the complexity of the human mind and its potential for abnormal behavior. Remember, understanding is the first step towards acceptance and support. Until next time, keep exploring the mysteries of the mind.